Let's go racing in Indy. This is the Gallagher Grand Prix, and Graham Rahal with a great start. Lundgaard is being challenged on the inside.
3 behind, 3 wide. You see both McLarens. Now 4 wide. Devlin DiFrancesco, baby, all the way to the lead from his career best start. He's side by side with Rahal, and Div takes the point.
Unbelievable. This driver has never qualified in the top 6. He's never even had a sniff of a podium, and he is so hungry to go to the front. DiFrancesco leads as 2 Arrow McLarens slide around behind.
Oh, Will Power got airborne in that black and red Verizon Chevy. He shortcut the chicane there. DiFrancesco in this turquoise and pink Truba Honda from Andretti Steinbrenner.
That is Alex Palou,
And
championship
Dixon.
leader, and his teammate Scott Dixon along with Newgarden. Oh, that's terrible for Newgarden in the championship.
Yellow flag obviously out, the number 2 up on top of the number 11 of Marcus Armstrong. You see that yellow and red DHL Honda. Roman Grosjean found reverse. He's going to be able to get back around, but so much track position loss.
I was just about to say this is exactly what Newgarden needed until it wasn't. Alex Palou had contact to the right front, an opportunity for Newgarden to gain points as the AMR safety team. You need to be careful here. They got about 1,650 pounds to get off of Marcus Armstrong's right front.
3 Ganassi cars involved in that. Palou, Dixon, Armstrong.
Unbelievable.
All teammates. Colton Herder, we saw him. He's got a flat rear on the left as the Andretti team go to work. Newgarden saying, big. Please help me. Please help me. I need to get, there are massive championship implications here.
Here comes the field diff. Here comes the field. They need to get it started. You hear Tim Cindric. He knows how important this is. They do not want to lose a lap.
Kevin Lee, this could be championship over if he goes down a lap here. And there's the front of the field.
5 seconds.
And before the race started, Joseph had a conversation with the crew wondering about this similar scenario. Let's listen.
Make sure we're ready here in wheel 1. These guys are going to go early, so be ready for the mess. Green.
That's Tim Cindric saying be ready for the mess. Joseph told me before he climbed in the car, I'm hoping they all crash in front of me and I can just scoot to the front. Unfortunately, they crashed not far enough in front of him, and he was a part of it.
Let's have a look at how that transpired. What a hectic opening lap. Check this out.
So watch that blue and white car of Alex Palou is drafting up on the 2 Arrow McLarens there with Marcus Armstrong. Palou opts to go 4 wide here. Backs out, and then I think Armstrong just turns across the bow of his teammate.
Maybe Dixon got into the back of Palou. Look up ahead. Palou, Armstrong, Dixon. Boom. So Grosjean got into Dixon a little bit, then Armstrong, and there's Joseph Newgarden on the right. This is from Joseph's Hitachi Chevrolet.
Check up.
So Joseph Newgarden unfortunately finds himself not on the lead lap and is playing catch-up when he's trying to reduce the championship deficit to Alex Palou with just 3 races remaining at the end of today.
Pit lane is open and you see a lot of cars coming in to take it.
One of the reasons for that is probably to bail off the black tire, the harder compound tire, and opt for the Firestone Red. Softer, more grip, and we think the preferred tire for the race today.
Kevin Lee.
And also this maybe opens up the chance of being able to get it done on 2 more stops. You need more yellow, but we're only about 4 or 5 laps away. With some fuel save, you could be able to get it done. You saw Roman Grosjean come in. They wanted to check the front wing. He was one of those with contact. They said, if it's okay, we're going to leave it. They felt it was okay. He's back out.
Let's go racing. And we don't get to say this very often. It's Devlin DiFrancesco in the Andretti Steinbrenner Autosport Honda, leading the way over Graham Rahal and Pato O'Ward. Look at the challenge here on the inside from Alexander Rossi.
That's on Christian Lundgaard in the black car on the right of your screen. That blue and orange McLaren going by on the inside of the Hy-Vee Honda. Great move on that restart. Alexander Rossi on a tear.
But watch Lundgaard here. He's all over the back of Rossi. Rossi has to turn narrow there for turn 4. This might give a chance for Lundgaard to have a really good run coming to the brake zone in turn 7.
Won his maiden IndyCar race this year, did Christian Lundgaard, in that black and red Hy-Vee Honda. Pops out of the draft, thought about it on last year's winner, Alexander Rossi. Rossi ended a 3-year drought here a year ago. By winning, it brought such relief, and it was coupled with his 2016 victory of the Indianapolis 500 to win again at the Brickyard. It was special. Then you go back to Felix Rosenqvist. So all 3 Arrow McLaren Chevys are running nicely in the top 6 positions. And then McLaughlin, last week's winner Kyle Kirkwood, Alex Palou, and Jack Harvey in the top 10.
Great to see that third RLL car up there as well. That's all 3 of them up in the top 10. We talked about the month of May these guys had at the top of the show. The Grand Prix was strong. It was the 500 where they struggled, but now Graham Rahal all over the back of Kevin DiFrancesco.
Here he comes up the inside of the 29. Graham Rahal to the front where he started.
And Alexander Rossi on his teammate in the background. So Rossi goes to 3rd, Rahal goes to 1st. It is game on, and this is going to be a very entertaining afternoon.
And that pass of Rahal on DiFrancesco, that was the red tires versus the black tires. Now Rossi on Pato O'Ward, his teammate.
Let's go, buddy.
That was red tires on the black tires. So you're seeing that advantage, Townsend, of that softer alternate red sidewall compound, as now you can see Pato having to defend from Christian Lundgaard.
Quick ride there aboard the Hy-Vee Honda. It's getting fast and frantic. McLaughlin in that bright blue car is coming up on the back, and DiFrancesco, he's gone back another position. Rossi is the man on the move.
This is why we've been saying that the red tire probably the preferred compound, but like James said, you have to run both. How long will they keep Devlin DiFrancesco out on track when he's clearly a bit handicapped?
You're looking at the American Legion Honda of Alex Palou, the championship leader, who was in a little bit of trouble momentarily during the break. Check this out as he makes a move on Devlin DiFrancesco.
Now, looked pretty straightforward at first, but DiFrancesco starting to get his elbows out a little bit. I'm sure Palou is thinking to himself, uh-oh, I've got Newgarden down, but not out. A lap down is Newgarden. Palou could literally just cruise through the rest of this afternoon, and he just narrowly avoided a much bigger situation with car-to-car contact there. Now Palou gets past into turn 1.
As Ericsson goes by Kyle Kirkwood there.
Holt Hurt is in with you.
And that's already his 2nd stop. That's because he's got 2 sets of the sticker reds, the softer alternate compound. So he's going to come in this time and trying to do a little bit different. And then meanwhile, we see issues with the AJ Foyt car of Santino Ferrucci. He left with the air hose attached, so that's tangled up. They've got to get that sorted and losing all kinds of precious time.
And the gun.
The gun was wedged under the right front wing as the AJ Foyt crew desperately trying to free Ferrucci from the leash.
Sorry, bud. Our bad there.
Green flag pit stops continue. Alexander Rossi pits from the 2nd spot. He'll take the alternates off, put a set of sticker black tires on him. Rossi's been happy with his race car. He said, let's get to work.
Now, Rossi's been running around in the wheel tracks of Graham Rahal, not really able to close up much more than a second, but because he could hang there, it makes you think he had a little bit more pace in that car. Once you get within a second, Townsend, as you know, it's so hard. You're losing downforce, and it's so hard to maintain. So a smart move to get out, try to get in some clean air, and knock off some clean laps here.
There you see Pato O'Ward on board as Rossi exits turn 1 comfortably in the lead. That's the blend battle, which Rossi clearly dominating. And you got to think that Pato O'Ward now on hot reds. He'll make up a little bit of this gap on his teammate, but with Rossi out there right now on the black tire, O'Ward is going to be able to reel him in.
And he comfortably got out. He, being Alexander Rossi, comfortably got out ahead of that bright blue car you see in the background. That is Scott McLaughlin, who pitted during the break as well in the Gallagher Chevy for Team Penske. Came so close to winning last weekend in Nashville.
So McLaughlin surprised me a bit. He went red, so he still hasn't satisfied the tire requirement, as the rookie Linus Lundqvist now down pit lane. Kevin, this guy has been impressive in just 2 IndyCar race weekends.
And he has inserted himself very much in the free agent game with about 2/3 of the seats open for next year. A lot of people are talking about Lundqvist in his 2nd IndyCar race. Very few pit stops for experience. He's in and out. He's moved forward so far in the first stint, so Michael Shank continues to be impressed.
Yeah, well done.
the leader, Graham Rahal, dives into the pits. Lap 24, that's how far he could take these alternate tires. That's a big step.
He had 2.8 seconds on his teammate Christian Lundgaard, who now goes to the front. Lundgaard will have his head down now, trying to click off the quickest laps possible.
And Graham has been so happy with his race car's pace on old tire runs. He'll get shell fuel. He'll go to a set of used primary tires for Rahal here. He goes back out.
Think about the crew on the 15, the feeling they must have servicing that car while in the lead. Awesome. They haven't experienced that in such a long time. So enjoy it. They executed brilliantly. And here comes Graham. It's a long old crawl down pit road at Indy, and you're looking for Alexander Rossi in the background. Here comes Rossi.
This could be tight-ish, maybe not. Looks like Rossi will have the point as Graham exits and accelerates.
Yeah,
it's going to be close. Here they go for the lead of the race. Alexander Rossi on hot tires, up to speed. Graham Rahal with that delicate dance.
Rossi very conservative there. I thought he'd be firing in a little bit stronger into turn 4 as Rahal looks lightning quick on the outlap.
Christian Lundgaard now from the effective lead of the race is in there, Dylan. How's he going to do?
Well, he stays out a couple laps longer to try to capitalize on the clean air. They'll take a set of alternates off, put another set of alternates on. This is a used set here. A little bit of a hiccup maybe on the right rear. Waiting on that, waiting on the shell fuel. Lundgaard's down. We'll watch the blend.
Down below, Graham Rahal, the onboard. Up top, that's Lundgaard exiting the pit box. They should meet somewhere down near turn 1.
Here it's going to be close at pit out with Christian.
Remember, Graham had 2.8 seconds to the good on Lundgaard, and Rahal maintains the gap.
We saw Christian Lundgaard right before the start of this broadcast. He was very confident and feeling good about his chances up against not only Alexander Rossi, who is challenging now straight out of the pits on the Arrow McLaren driver. And he thinks he may have an advantage on his teammate. We'll find out.
Rossi went a bit wide coming off of 4, not expecting that attack on the red tires from Christian Lundgaard. Here we go, the blast down to turn 7, defensive from Rossi. Lundgaard to the outside.
Outside, can he switch back here? Switch back. Lundgaard's looking for an opportunity on Alexander Rossi.
And Rossi knows exactly where he needs to place his car to be in the way of Christian Lundgaard without running afoul of the blocking rules. Great job from Rossi.
Keep the pressure on.
Just saw radio transmission from Christian Lundgaard, maybe talking about Alex fading back in the brake zone there down into turn 7.
I think what they're telling him, Ricardo Nolt on the radio with Lundgaard, is saying Rossi's on black, so keep the pressure on. You can see Lundgaard only 1 lap out of the pits, but he's still hanging right on the tail of this Arrow McLaren.
Now Christian Lundgaard, he started on those alternate tires.
Here we go.
He hasn't satisfied it yet, but lining up now, it's going to be a race on the brakes. Alex so deep on those primaries, but the extra grip of the alternates makes that move happen.
Scott Dixon finally dives for the pits.
Yeah, Dixon was hoping for some more yellow after having to pit as part of that accident that Newgarden was caught up with. So Dixon will come in, but I think he'll have to make 2 more stops to get to the end.
Kevin Lee standing by for the man who has just started his 319th consecutive IndyCar race.
Just one lone race at Milwaukee in 2004 where he crashed twice. He said, I actually was a little bit banged up. I'm not sure I could have gone, but it was time to go home for the weekend. But what a career this guy has had. And for this race today, he's got another set of sticker reds in his back pocket. These are used.
We see 2 McLarens in. Pato aboard at the top. At the bottom. Alexander Rossi at the top, Dylan.
And Rossi was on the primaries and said, I have got to get these off. We are struggling here, so they'll put a used set of alternates on for Rossi, Kevin.
And a little bit of a vibration in that stint for Pato Award, but not too bad. It's another set of alternates. They are used. Remember, the vaunted Arrow McLaren team has not won yet this year. They got a couple of chances today.
Looked like Rossi's right front was having a little bit of an issue getting the wheel nut back on as Pato Award grows his advantage over his teammate. Here comes Roman Grosjean, who will blend with Pato Award. Grosjean currently sitting 10th. Here's Colton Herta.
He's in again, Kevin Lee.
So Herta is off strategy because they got caught up in the mess at the beginning of the race, so they're just trying to make something happen. But they're back on pace to do it on 1 more stop, but they still got a lot of track position to try to make up.
Alex Palou from 3rd is on pit lane. Kevin Lee is standing by.
The driver that's averaging 3.25 for his results this season never finished worse than 8th and is in the mix for another good result today. Also, we're going to see Scott McLaughlin pit this time around. Several still in play. One more stop to go after this. Palou is going to release from closer to the middle of pit lane. And now at the very end of pit lane, Scott McLaughlin gets out right behind Alex Palou.
So 43 to go here at the Brickyard.
Stay out, Graham, stay out.
The call is to stay out for the race leader, Graham Rahal.
It's a good call. He's got a little bit of gap between him and Colton Hurd as the next car on track. Graham's just coming through the last corner on the racetrack. But look at this battle right here.
Palou and Rossi fighting it out. Rossi with the upper hand at the moment. The championship leader chasing the defending race winner here at the Gallagher Grand Prix. He's led 31 laps today. We're expecting him to pit any lap now. He has been in control of this race, and now he dives for the pits.
He knew when he was catching the tail of Santino Ferrucci that this is probably the time. Dylan, Graham Rahal will come. The pressure is on the crew.
It is, and you're exactly right. They wanted to make sure that the lap time didn't slow down too much with the traffic. They'll go to a set of used primaries here. This may allow them to kind of short stint this second to last stint here as they went long on this run. So Rahal's down and away.
And James, you know the feeling, the anxious moments when you're a driver and you're looking in your mirrors and you're thinking, come on, let's just be smooth. No bobbles here, guys. And they were perfect on that one.
The motto in pit stops is slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yeah.
And so it's all you got to do is don't let the pressure of the situation get to you. The 15 crew did a phenomenal job there. It wasn't the most lightning fast stop you've ever seen, but it doesn't have to be. It just can't have any mistakes, no issues. And this is a great pit stop from the 15 crew. Now Graham just needs to put his head down. He got lots of clear racetrack in front of him. Look at that, Townsend. He could just hammer down, head down, and try and open that gap up to Lundgaard.
That's going to be the next exchange that catches our focus, is when Christian Lundgaard stops again. Where is it going to be? Let's go for a ride on the Hy-Vee Honda.
He stayed out on those reds, and just like Graham Rahal was in control, now the balance of power falls into Christian Lundgaard's lap. He also has a great gap in front of him. Clean air. That next car, again, Santino Ferrucci up front. Taking a look at the Firestone telemetry. Look at that nice, smooth brake trail, nice, smooth throttle control. And the decision is in Christian's hands. How's your pace? How's your tire degradation? You tell us when it's time to pit.
But this Hy-Vee Honda might be looking to pit. Here he is. That is it. He saw that traffic coming. That was going to slow him down more. They saw Graham's lap time on those primaries. So now in the driver's hands. Hit the pit lane speed markers absolutely spot on. We're seeing a brake balance adjustment. That's what he's doing with his right hand there. Going from used tires to new tires. He's predicting already what it's going to be like. Making that brake balance adjustment, the percentage of the brake pressure that goes front to rear. And now Dylan, he's in the pit box.
And the 45 boy is going to need a perfect stop here. The blend is going to be really close. The Delta's right on the number. They'll go to a used black set here for Lundgaard. They need to wait and get the fuel in, and then we'll see where he blends when he pulls out.
That fueler was shaking his head like it was taking him a little longer. Here comes Graham Rahal out of turn 14.
11 seconds on the stop to Graham's 7.6. This is going to be an easy one for Graham Rahal. The question is Pato O'Ward going to get by the 45 as well? You see that orange and black McLaren at the right-hand side of your screen. He's going to get him.
What happened to the fuel fill?
That did not go to plan for the Hy-Vee Honda, and not only did it not go to plan, he's now lost second place as the Arrow McLaren Chevy of Pato O'Ward slides in there.
Should have taken 7.5, 8 seconds. Instead, over 10.
Here is Scott Dixon. He leads this race. He last pitted on lap 32. If the numbers work out and everything goes his way, this is not out of the realm of possibility for Dixon to win this race.
I mean, he surprised us once again, Hitch. I didn't think it was going to be possible, but once again, Scott Dixon has figured out how to go fast, save massive amounts of fuel. His lap times are totally competitive. He's got 6.5 seconds to Graham Rahal, and if he can go 1 or 2 more laps, he's good.
Not only is he good here, he set the record for the most consecutive starts. If he does manage to win today, it'll be his first win on the season, but it'll be the 19th consecutive year with a victory. He currently holds the record. He'd break his own record today if he was able to get that. So potentially a 2 records in 1, a nice twofer for the number 9 and Scott Dixon. Got Dixon, a little bit of lap traffic. Stingray Rob right in front of him at the moment.
No changes, we'll be ready for you.
No changes, we'll be ready for you, says the managing director at Chip Ganassi Racing, Mike Hull.
And Kevin, I wonder, what do they have for tires? What are they going to bolt on to the number 9 here to go 26 laps to the finish?
They have a brand new set of the softer compound red sidewall Firestone stones, and that seems to be an advantage. They can last. Although Dixon, maybe he was giving me the okey doke. He told me yesterday, I think we're better on the primaries, but this has worked, so it could be an advantage for them. He's got to save a little bit of fuel to make it home, but might be this the day that Scott Dixon can extend that season win streak to 19. Final stop. You know the PNC Bank crew is almost always flawless. Can they get it done this time as well? They've got to get all the fuel in there as they can, and he is away.
Wow.
It's just remarkable. The gap he had over Graham Rahal when he came in there was just under 6 seconds, maybe 5.7 seconds. That's a big amount of time to make up. Dixon's so good at saving fuel and driving fast. Graham has a monumental task to close down over 5 seconds.
24 to go here at the Brickyard in the Gallagher Grand Prix. How is this going to unfold between Graham Rahal, Alex Palou, Scott Dixon, as we see another RLL driver? This is Christian Lundgaard.
Big opportunity for the crew here to try to make up from the earlier loss for Christian Lundgaard. He's about a second behind Pato O'Ward. Can they work some magic here on this, their final stop?
And Ricardo Nault said, yeah, we just need smooth stops. We don't need anything fancy, just routine service, 4 tires, fuel, used reds for Lundgaard. Kevin.
Pato O'Ward is up further along on pit road. Let's see if he can beat out Lundgaard. He will. Just nose in front of him. This is used reds for O'Ward for the last stint.
This is going to be a good scrap here between a Chevy, a Honda, a McLaren, and a Rahal Letterman Lanigan car. Meanwhile, to the right, look who's coming into picture.
Alex Rossi in the blue and orange McLaren. He's going to come out just behind both of these cars. Christian Lundgaard on the alternates, Rossi on the alternates that are warm.
Meanwhile, Scott Dixon has climbed all the way back up to 3rd on this pit stop rotation, and the pressure is now back on Graham Rahal and his team.
He had to. Scott Dixon was the fastest car on track. That gap was falling. He's still going to come out well behind the number 9. The 15 crew needs a fire stop, Dylan.
They do indeed, and they'll go to used reds here for their final run of the day. Wanted to keep Graham out there just a little bit longer, try and make this a short fill if they can. Small front wing change. We'll see how close the blend is.
There's Alex Palou on the right, the blue number 10, the American Legion car. He hasn't been serviced yet. He's looking for his stop there. He sees his team guys, gets out of the way of Rahal. Meanwhile, to the right is the bright orange and blue PNC Bank Honda. The 6-time champion, Scott Dixon, is going to cycle to the front.
With that sneaky little smirk on his face, he beat us all today. Didn't see this coming when Dixon had to pit on just lap 5 under yellow, but he is clear of Graham Rahal by probably 5 or 6 seconds.
3.7 seconds between Dixon and Graham Rahal. Let's learn more about the driver of the 15 with Dylan Welsh.
So he's been a little bit animated on the radio the last couple laps because of these 2 lap cars. I believe it's one of the Juncos cars in front of him, and I think Marcus Armstrong, the other car down the road. It's Augustine Canapino in front of him, and he's asking them if they can have any help to get these guys out of the way so he can keep trying to run down Dixon. Now, obviously these guys aren't teammates, so nothing's guaranteed, but they are a lap down. So Graham asking for a little bit of help.
Graham might get some help out of Canapino, but if Chip Ganassi Racing hears that transmission, they're going to tell Marcus Armstrong, Dixon's teammate, you do not let this guy by.
Here's some Rahal radio. Have a listen.
14 to go. They're still telling Scott to save on the radio. Let's keep pushing. 78 needs to let me go. We're working on that. Copy.
That was obviously slightly delayed. He's saying the 78 needs to let me go. Canapino has let him by.
11 knows you're coming.
Armstrong is 2 laps down to the field, so IndyCar can give a command blue flag requiring that Armstrong get out of the way and disabling push to pass for Armstrong.
The 11 car ahead is blue flag eligible, so they should move them over.
Exactly. There you go. Took the words out of your mouth there, Townsend. Once you're lapped down to the full field, you are, as you heard on the radio, blue flag eligible, which means you can get that command from race control, and then you have to let the car behind you by. Canapino didn't let him by. You saw Graham had to burn push to pass to make that happen. He's now down to 38 seconds. Scott Dixon up there on 69. But if he's saving a lot of fuel, he might not be able to use that push to pass in defense if Graham gets there.
The hard part for Graham Rahal, I think, is the fact that he had to run used reds for this final stint. Dixon on the sticker reds as the day is done for Felix Rosenqvist. We heard the onboard with the gearbox. Well, we think something to do with gearbox or driveline issues, and finally terminal for Felix Rosenqvist. There's the gap, the 9 to the 15, Dixon over Rahal. Here he comes.
There you go. Ryan Hunter-Reay doing the right thing, lifting off the throttle. Remember, he doesn't have to do that. I know Graham's upset, but that wasn't actually a requirement from Ryan. That was him being a pal, not wanting to get involved in this fight, and it's still only 1.6 seconds up to Scott Dixon. Scott didn't pull away when he got by Ryan.
But if you're the team, you got to calm your driver down. Tell Graham Rahal, listen, you can go smack runner Hunter-Reay around after the race. Let's keep two hands on the wheel and go get Dixon.
And they are almost level on push to pass. 39 seconds left for Dixon, 33 for Rahal. It's game on. 0.7 of a second. Dixon versus Rahal. This is going to be one of the classics on this road course.
Oh, look at Graham.
Rahal under brakes.
Superman deep on the brakes. Now Graham Rahal will have the draft down the longest straightaway on the road course schedule.
He's got to be patient. He's got to be smart. He only has 3 good hits of push to pass left. We see Devlin DiFrancesco moving out of the way. Great call from the driver of the 29. Now it is a straight fight. Best man wins with 3 laps to go.
Get him, buddy. They say, get him. That's the call to Graham Rahal. Yesterday, after winning pole position for the first time in 6 years, he said, it's nice to have it validated and to be reminded that I still belong. I still have a place in IndyCar. Well, Graham, you're just 3 laps away from maybe breaking a 6-year drought in victories.
And can you imagine if Graham wins this thing by passing, tracking down and passing Scott Dixon straight up on the racetrack? That's a way to plant your pole. White flag.
This is the key overtaking point.
White flag, let's keep the pressure on him. Make him earn this one.
Make him earn this one, they say to Graham Rahal. However, and to Scott Dixon, can he sustain the pressure, or has Rahal got something special over there in turn 7? That midfield straight into the left-hander and the key overtaking point.
Big long radius corner here, turn 4. It really challenges all 4 Firestones, but Dixon still with the gap through the chicane. They come down to turn 7. Rahal still not close enough for a lunge.
It was a year ago at Nashville where Scott Dixon separated himself from Mario Andretti to move into 2nd overall all-time on the wins list. Now look at this. Graham Rahal says, I'm not sure if I'm going to let you win in a 19th season. I want this win, but it's not going to come easy. Dixon into turn 12. Rahal is throwing everything at it, but the overtaking opportunities have run out. What a comeback from Scott Dixon after spinning on the opening lap. And in 19 consecutive seasons, Scott Dixon is going to be a winner again. Spin to win. Dixon has done it at Indy. Spinning on the opening lap to seeing the yard of bricks first. Nothing is too big for Scott Dixon in the IndyCar Series.
And if you're Graham Rahal, you just have to throw up your hands. He did everything right today. He beat his teammate. He beat Arrow McLaren. And this is going to be frustrating. Great drive.
Look at that. Great sportsmanship there, giving the thumbs up to Scott.
And huge respect. He knows he's witnessing greatness right in front of him.
You've done a spin and win to win at Indy. How did you do it?
Yeah, that was crazy. Huge credit to the team. You know, we weren't sure even on the first run there. I will say I had a fantastic start. I think I got up to like 8th or 9th and then got T-boned in turn 7 there. But huge credit to the team. You know, it's been a trying year for us, just where things could have rolled our way, they haven't. But they never give up. So big thank you to everybody on the PNC bag number 9. Honda was amazing today. It was so fun driving my Honda out there today, getting the fuel mileage, cruising along. And, you know, fantastic pace. The only problem there towards the end, I think on my outlaps, I pushed it too hard to kind of create that gap on Graham, and unfortunately burnt the tires off a little bit. So it was pretty sketchy at the end, but we tried to put on a show for everyone.
Watch the Bommarito Automotive Group 500 Sunday, August 27th at 3:30 p.m. on NBC.